Sean, perfect coat.
Absolutely. That is not true? No, absolutely not. Like you trying to protect your deal over here and force her into a deal. Yes. I said, that won't even in my consciousness. Now, how could you not know that you're saying those words to me?
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Why does one of the most spiritually celebrated women in Hollywood allegedly refuse to attend the exclusive parties of Oprah Winfrey and Diddy?
To celebrate the birth of Sean, perfect coat.
What secrets do these parties hold that someone like Iyanla Vanzant couldn't stand to be around?
More than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs.
And what role does Iyanla's own spiritual mission play in her decision to stay far away? Iyanla Vanzant has always been seen as Oprah's counterpart, a spiritual guide who focuses on healing and truth. But despite their shared platforms and audiences, these two women couldn't be more different.
Like you trying to protect your deal over here and force her into a deal. Yes. I said, that won't even in my consciousness. Now, how could you not know that you're saying those words to me?
While Oprah has been a champion of luxurious lifestyles and extravagant gatherings, Iyanla's focus has remained on the simplicity of spiritual healing. Could this difference be the reason she has never been invited or simply refuses to attend Hollywood's infamous parties? But that's just scratching the surface. Let's look deeper into what these gatherings really represent and why someone like Iyanla would want to steer clear. Diddy's parties have become legendary in Hollywood for all the wrong reasons. A property manager who oversaw one of Diddy's infamous events described the aftermath as disgusting. According to reports, these gatherings are filled with drugs, alcohol, and shocking displays of excess. One party hosted for Meek Mill's birthday in 2014 left behind a horrifying scene.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
The property manager, Haight, claimed that broken bottles, powder, and even lingerie were scattered throughout the venue. And it wasn't just the aftermath, it was the requests leading up to the event that raised eyebrows. It's no wonder that someone like Iyanla, who champions integrity and honesty, wouldn't want anything to do with these scandalous gatherings. But is there even more to this story? Absolutely. An insider who worked at the front desk of a five-star hotel shared eye-opening accounts of their experience dealing with the ultra-rich. According to them, luxury hotels often appeared glamorous on the surface, but behind closed doors, it was a whole different world.
The hotel industry is a wild experience that helps you understand how disconnected the wildly wealthy are.
They revealed that some guests acted as if normal rules didn't apply to them, describing it as a bubble where common sense and decency are optional. The insider recounted one particularly jaw-dropping instance when a guest booked an entire floor for a private party. Each suite was transformed into a different theme, a Parisian market in one room, complete with a live accordion player, and a tropical jungle in another, complete with exotic birds. It felt like walking into a movie set, they explained. However, the aftermath was far from glamorous. The insider reported that the rooms were left in total disarray, with food smeared on walls, furniture broken, and carpets soaked with spilled champagne. The cleanup bill reportedly ran into the hundreds of thousands, which the guest paid without a second thought. To them, it was probably like tipping a valet, they added. Not all moments in the job were entertaining. The insider recalled unsettling encounters, such as a guest arriving with a young woman who appeared nervous and carried no luggage. They mentioned that the woman barely spoke during the entire check-in process, leaving staff feeling uneasy. We wanted to intervene, but what could we do? They were paying a fortune to stay there, they said.
Basically a giant swingers. You'd have people having in the pool, people laying on our wine bars, a couple having on the balcony in plain view, so you're looking up at it. Quite an angle.
Another troubling incident involved a guest who made an inappropriate request to housekeeping. According to the insider, the man insisted on having his room cleaned while he stayed in bed, completely. When the housekeeper refused, the guest complained to management, and shockingly, the staff member received a warning for being unprofessional. One of the most disturbing stories involved a coworker who was reportedly offered $50,000 by a guest for her company for the night.
It was really common for the high rollers to approach attractive staff members and essentially just ask them, hey, if I pay you X amount of dollars, will you meet me in my room later tonight and knock my brains out? That's a quote from someone, sadly.
The job wasn't just physically exhausting, it took a significant emotional toll as well. The insider described how guests often vented their frustrations on staff over trivial matters. In one instance, a guest berated them for not having the correct brand of imported water in their suite. "It's not like we intentionally stocked the wrong bottles," they explained, exasperated by the entitlement. Burnout was another constant battle. The insider admitted there were nights when they were so drained they couldn't even muster the energy to step out of their car once they got home. "You sit there in the driveway, completely numb, questioning why you put up with it," they shared. Reflecting on their experiences, the insider claimed that wealth didn't necessarily make people worse, but it did magnify their true selves. "The genuinely kind guests treated us like human beings and tipped generously, but the entitled ones, they were the worst," they said. When asked what they would tell someone considering a career in luxury hospitality, the insider's response was blunt. "It's not as glamorous as it looks. You'll see the best and worst of humanity, and unfortunately the worst is what sticks with you." In any case, while Diddy's parties were overt in their excess, these mega-rich events seem to also have their own dark side. For years, whispers have circulated about the exclusivity and secrecy surrounding these gatherings. Some attendees have hinted at rituals and practices that align more with power plays and manipulation than genuine connection. Iyanla's decision to distance herself from Oprah, who is mega-rich in her own right, could be tied to these very rumors. After all, Iyanla has made it clear that her mission is to bring light to darkness, and Oprah's world may be one she's unwilling to step into ever again. The fallout between Iyanla Vanzant and Oprah Winfrey wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Once seen as allies in the world of television and self-help, the two women's paths diverged dramatically, leaving Iyanla to run as far as she could from Oprah's orbit. Before Winfrey's show became a sensation, Iyanla was right there by her side. You'd think someone so integral to her success would receive special treatment during tough times, but that wasn't the case. Similar to rumors that Winfrey only supports black women on the surface, Iyanla's experience proves it. Despite being a best-selling author, she had to start over completely after Winfrey felt threatened by her success. It's no secret that Winfrey doesn't like being challenged, and Iyanla became an example of what happens when you do. The consequences for Iyanla were severe. Losing her spot on Winfrey's show was just the beginning. It deeply affected her finances, her career prospects, and happened during a period of personal loss. There's no direct evidence implicating Winfrey in any of this.
I mean, you're someone who had a difficult life, you ended up on welfare trying to raise a family, and then all of a sudden all these opportunities just hit you. And any other person probably would have just spent that money up and been disrespectful.
But it's hard to ignore that Iyanla's downfall coincided with their falling out. So can Winfrey really claim innocence in all of this? Winfrey's show has undeniably served as a springboard for numerous successful figures in today's entertainment industry. Names like Nate Berkus, Dr. Phil, and Dr. Oz are proof of this phenomenon. They all skyrocketed to global fame after appearing on Winfrey's show. Dubbed the Oprah effect, this phenomenon has wielded immense power time and again. Endorsements, frequent appearances, or even a regular segment on Winfrey's show can pave the way for a flourishing career. However, while it propelled some to stardom and came close to doing so for others, it also spelled downfall for many, including Iyanla Vanzant.
11 years.
Did she tell you that you weren't ready or something, like when you went to her?
They didn't think I was ready, but that was never communicated to me.
Got you.
So I'm saying, well, if they're asking for me, how come I can't do it over here?
Iyanla's life story reads like a gripping miniseries. Born Rhonda Harris in the back of a Brooklyn taxicab, tragedy struck early with her mother's death from cancer when she was just 2. Raised by her absentee father, who was involved in illegal gambling, and a grandmother who subjected her to severe her childhood was marked by unimaginable hardship. As a teenager, she became a mother herself, giving birth to 3 children with different fathers. Marrying one of them only led to further violence, pushing her to the brink of attempting self-harm, all before the age of 25. Struggling on welfare with minimal resources and the weight of her children's futures on her shoulders, a pivotal moment came when she saw a sign on a bus urging those seeking a better life to attend Medgar Evers College. Taking a leap of faith, she disembarked and enrolled, setting her on a path towards show business. Iyanla's journey eventually led her to become the executive producer and host of the acclaimed reality series Iyanla Fix My Life, which became a standout hit on the OWN Oprah Winfrey Network. In the show, she delves deep into people's lives, applying spiritual principles to guide them towards inner peace and healing through self-reflection and personal growth. Winfrey herself has hailed Iyanla as the most powerful spiritual healer, fixer, teacher on the planet. Despite their shared success, their relationship wasn't always smooth sailing. In fact, a disagreement between them lasted for over a decade, highlighting the complexity of their dynamic.
Did you not know that you're saying those words to me because I did lecture, workshop, class, public speak, don't know dit nor doodly about television?
One of the most high-profile phases of Vanzant's life was her falling out with Winfrey. She was a motivational speaker gaining national prominence in 2000 when she began appearing regularly on her show. However, in 1999, Iyanla was approached with an offer by a television executive from another network and chose to accept it. Winfrey and Iyanla didn't talk for 11 years after that, but that's not the entire story. The thing is that right after Iyanla was approached by executives willing to give her a show of her own, she actually spoke to her team in Winfrey's organization, and when they turned her down, she left. And then pandemonium ensued. In the author's own words, "Okay, we had a conversation, and the first conversation was, do you want your own show now, or are you willing to wait?" And I said, I'm willing to wait. Then after I got approached by so many people, Barwal wasn't the only producer. I said, wait a minute, hold up. Maybe there's something going on here I need to look at. So I went back to Harpo and said, are you willing to do my show now?
I was just being naive and stupid and asking, but it wasn't received well.
Years have passed, and the two hosts have had a conversation only to realize their rift might have been caused by miscommunication. Talking about the situation, Iyanla said, I know that I said I would wait, but let me tell you why. And that's where I made my mistake, because I went into this long explanation about how everybody had approached me, and I think I'm ready now, and blah blah blah, not knowing the nuance in the business that they received that as me trying to leverage a deal. And they were insulted and offered the invitation not to come back.
In the industry, when you go to somebody and say, you know, this network is offering me this, what are you going to offer me? But that's not what I was doing. I was just being naive and stupid.
Then after over a decade of not talking, Iyanla was called up by Winfrey to come on her show so that they could air out their differences. Now this is messed up because everything happened behind closed doors, so wouldn't it only be appropriate that it gets sorted the same way? But no, the more famous one of them had other plans. She had Iyanla come on her show and manipulated the conversation until Iyanla had to repeatedly admit she made the mistakes. Iyanla explained on the show that she learned many lessons from her experience working with another network. It shook me to my core, she says. I was also hurt and guilty about the way I left here. Hurt that I didn't understand what I had done, and guilty because my story is I always do the wrong thing. This insecurity led Iyanla to make assumptions that allegedly compounded the situation. When you said, bless you, go forward, that's not what I heard, Iyanla tells Winfrey. What I heard was, you did the wrong thing and you're being punished.
We're not coming into that meeting to get us to make a decision for doing a show for you? Yes, but not with that connotation of do it now or I'm going here.
That wasn't the only show she even had to admit it. She also did on other major platforms. I violated some protocols in the industry because I just didn't know. Vanzant, who says she grew up in the hood, told the Breakfast Club, I didn't have a manager, I didn't have an agent. I was going up to talk to people like they was at the Key Food. And so not understanding that about me and being in this industry, it was assumed that I was leveraging, which I wasn't. I didn't even know what that stuff was. I just asked for what I wanted. I was just being naive and stupid and asking, but it wasn't received well, Vanzant explained. And that created a breakdown in communication, but we were able to repair that. It took 11 years. They didn't think I was ready, but that was never communicated to me. So I'm saying, well, if they asking for me, why can't we do it here? But how we know she might have been forced to push the storyline that painted Winfrey in the best light is that she had told the story from a different perspective in a prior interview. On the Tell Me More show with host Michelle Martin, Iyanla said, well, here's what I think. I think that as an up-and-coming, as a protege, a certain level of loyalty is required of you, expected of you, and I didn't demonstrate that level of loyalty. And I think that would be true for Oprah. I think had I stayed, it would have been true for Barbara Walters. I mean, look at the big rift that happened when Star left The View. This implies that the reason Winfrey was so willing to cut her loose was because she believed Iyanla owed her loyalty, even at the expense of progressing her own career. But what completely sealed the deal in this interview was when she mentioned that she actually didn't have one conversation with Winfrey when all of these went down. She said, well, let me say this, and this is why, what you heard in the clip when I said I didn't know it was about me. I never had a conversation with Oprah, ever. People thought that we were best friends, and we went to lunch all the time. I had never had a conversation with her, so all of this that translated happened between me and her lawyer, me and her EP, not between me and Oprah. This implies that the reason Winfrey was so willing to cut her loose was because she believed Iyanla owed her loyalty, even at the expense of progressing her own career. Even her fans believe this. One person wrote, "Oprah forced Iyanla to apologize to her publicly on her show. She is jealous of black women who are more talented and more respected than her. She expects them to bow down to her and sing her praises. When they go against her, then they suffer." Another person added, "I felt sorry for Iyanla how she groveled begging Oprah to please give her a chance. She literally had to kiss Oprah's Oprah seems pretty cold when it comes to other black people. Kinda believe she doesn't have that much power except keeping other blacks where the powers that be want them to be." Anyway, ever since their fallout, Iyanla Vanzant has never shied away from calling out hypocrisy. Even when it's uncomfortable, her refusal to partake in these gatherings isn't just a personal choice, it's a statement.
Absolutely not. That is not true. That is not true? No, absolutely not.
By avoiding these events, Iyanla separates herself from the culture of excess, manipulation, and secrets that define Hollywood's elite. Her distance from Oprah and Diddy speaks volumes, but it also raises questions. What does Iyanla know that we don't? And what might she reveal next? With so many revelations about these parties coming to light, one question remains. Will Iyanla ever expose the full truth about why she's kept her distance? Or is her silence her most powerful statement of all? Whether it's the wild indulgence of Diddy's events or the enigmatic nature of Oprah's parties, Iyanla Vanzant's refusal to attend is a powerful act of defiance. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.